everyone, it's Warren from NQ Explorers again. This week it's a bit of an expedition here in the North Queensland Goldfields. Colleen and I are up here for 5 days. We're going to do a bit of gold work and coin and relic hunting. There's an old town site here. We might pick up some coins and nice old relics if we're lucky from the 1870s. This gold field was started in the late 1860s. It's one of the oldest ones in North Queensland. So not renowned for its big nuggety gold. It's more fine gold and specimen gold and kind of small pieces, less than a gram, but only a couple of weeks ago we heard of a 12-gram specimen being found with infinium, which is good. We've got the infinium here for doing the creek flats and the open slopes, and Colleen's got the AT gold. She's red hot on that one, and I've got the AT Pro for working on relics. And we'll use the VLF machines in these gullies too. The gullies have been well worked over the years because there's a lot of people come out here prospecting, but you never know. Might be a couple of little pieces that have been missed, and might get some relics out of the old town. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, it's early on the morning of day one. We're out with the AT gold and the infinium. Colleen's got the AT gold in all metal mode. I've got the infinium with the monoloop coil on it, and this is a good looking bit of ground here. We've got quartz and we've got ironstone and we've got red ground and we've got grey ground and we've got all sorts of stuff going on here, so it's going to be a lot of fun anyway. So we're going to get out and see if we can find a little bit of gold today. If not, we might find some old relics because the old timers have been right through this area. So there's always a chance of an old coin or a relic from the 1800s. Okay, off we go. One thing I've mentioned about infinium previously is your swing speed. It's got to be nice and steady. Don't rush about because the recovery time's just a moderate speed. As you can see, I've got the mono coil on there today. And the other thing is too, once you're in lock and you've got a nice steady threshold and it's ground balanced, you will get occasional burbles in the signal, but they won't be repeatable if they're not a target. And if you suddenly lift the coil off the ground from this is the level that I've ground balanced at, about an inch off the ground, you will get a signal if you suddenly lift it off the ground. Obviously it's just a wee, but and also if the ground profile changes rapidly, like if you go into a little bit of a wash or a gully. But that's not a target. You won't miss it. You won't mistake a target for just noise from ground variation, or where your ground varies underneath the search coil, because that's just basically a ground balance. The difference between the balance on the coil and the ground. If you get a lot of air between the coil and the ground, well, you're going to get a false signal. Also notice it doesn't look pretty, but I've duct taped all the coil cable right up the stem there, so that there's absolutely no slack in that coil cable, only down the bottom where you can get a bit of movement there. But otherwise you'll get sort of false signals off the cable if you're bumping it, or it's flopping on the stem as you swing left to right. So there's just a couple of little ideas that's made my detecting with the infinium a lot easier. Just want to show you this ground I'm detecting in here. As you can see, it's a very highly mineralised quartz ironstone slate mix. We've got this beautiful ironstone quartz here. Actually, just over that way where I was an hour ago, it drops off. It's like a metamorphic boundary there, and it goes into a grey soil, and you can tell by the colour of the anthills they're bright red in here. So I'll persist in this area here. It may have been worked over, but there's a lot of bedrock showing, and it's just this ironstone quartz. So I reckon I've got a good chance of finding something here, but it's probably been hammered, but who knows. We'll have a look around and see how we go. Get on with it. Well, the old timers have been here. Part of an old miner's hobnail boot heel, which is fairly common find in the goldfields, as you'd know if you have spent any time in the Australian goldfields. Oh well, if they were looking here, I'm looking in the right place. Well, I've just come into an old timers camp. There's that much iron rubbish. It's driving the infinium mad. You really need one of the AT machines in here. It's the bottom of an old matchbox here. Over here's got an interesting looking bottle. I haven't been over there yet. You can see there's writing on it from the way the sun's angled there. There's an old iron top of something too. Could be a coin in here if I'm lucky. Here we go. Leon Perrins. Broken. Oh yeah, Worcestershoresheer Sauce. Yeah. Well, that's nice. They're having a bit of nice sauce on their steak. But pretty bare rocky ground through here, but yeah, a lot of iron rubbish, just little bits of matchbox and broken glass all through the place. Well, it's lunch on day one. We're back at the car, so we're going to have a ham and salad roll and then get back into it. After lunch we're going to head down that way. There's some nice red quartzy gullies down that direction. See if we get any luck down there. Well, Colleen just got a nice find with the AT Gold. You hear it beeping away in the background there. It looks like a leather saddler's needle or an upholstery needle. I'd say it'd be a saddler's needle. You can see the eye there and the curved end. Probably for stitching up leather and saddles and harnesses and things. What a great old relic. Never found one of those before. Good one. Colin's just come across a fairly decent looking snake skin here. So we've got to watch out in this country. Long and skinny. Probably at about 2.5 feet long. Maybe 3 feet, I don't know if that's the whole skin. But it just shows you they're obviously out here, but we don't see them very much. You've got to make plenty of noise on the ground, and if you thump it along and making a bit of noise with the detector, it usually keeps them at bay. We're just coming in this gully and these 3 really unique trees took our eye. They're like a drooping tubular leaf on them, and yet there's only 3 here. There's none anywhere in the area. I've never seen a tree like it. This could be some sort of unique botanical discovery here. They look a bit like a pine, but obviously they're an arid. It's an arid environment. That's the tree, and here's the 3rd one down in the creek gully. See, they got that droopy tubular leaf type arrangement, but there's only 3 individuals. No flowers or anything evident. We've taken a little sample and might go and get some experts to look at those. For this piece here, it's just pure ironstone, bit of quartz attached. Typical ironstone quartz rubble all through this area. We haven't found any gold yet, but it looks promising, so we'll persist up the side of this hill and into this little saddle behind us and see how we go. Well, here's Colleen's first find in the old gold mining ghost town. It's a lovely old brass button. It's nice. It'll be branded. It's one of the 2-hole variety. So that's a good find under this old thorny bush. You're just poking in here, poking that little AT gold coil in amongst these bushes and seeing what comes out. Well, here's my first find of the old ghost town. I'm with the AT Pro in Pro Custom mode. It's some sort of, it looks like it's obviously a pin or a flag pin. You can see the pin on the back. Looks very nautical. I'll clean it and see what it might be. I can't see any writing on there, but when we clean it up we might reveal what that is. I've just given that a quick bush clean on one side and I can see that's the Swedish flag. It's the pale blue with the gold cross or the yellow cross. So we'll have a look on the back. I'll clean it up properly with a soft toothbrush and see if there's any writing on it and determine what sort of metal that might be. I don't know if it's going to be silver. Maybe something centered at the centre there too. Not sure. Good one. Well, the next target, very high signal as you can imagine, is a harmonica reed of the short fat variety. It's not broken, it's complete, so maybe it's a different type of instrument, but I think it's a harmonica reed. It's definitely a musical instrument reed anyway. Well, this old town is absolutely infested with flat rusty iron, as most are. But this is where the sort of place where this AT Pros really shine with this double D coil and that iron check. There's just iron everywhere. I've got the iron discrim set on, I had it on 40 for a while, I dropped it back to 30, not too bad there, still detectable. And out of all that clutter, I've got a magnificent old button here. I think it's a, well, it's a nautical style button. Look at that. That is magnificent. I think it's nautical, it's an anchor and crown. I'll see if there's a maker's name on the back. We'll just get up close with that one. Okay, there she is. Isn't that magnificent? Look at the condition of that. It's a crown surmounted, beg your pardon, an anchor surmounted by a crown with a rope edge. Definitely nautical. Not necessarily, I don't know if it's naval, Royal Naval or Royal Australian Naval. Certainly there was no Royal Australian Navy in the 1880s. But anyway, that is a beautiful old button. If there's any maker's name on the back, I'll subtitle the information. Well, we've come in off the flats with the where we were working the red ground with the quartz and the Infinium and the AT gold. We've come down these little gullies. Now we've got the 2 VLFs out because I haven't got a small coil for the Infinium, the 8-inch coil, so that big 14-inch won't pick up the fine stuff. So we're going to work down this little dry wash. There's some nice slate down here that lies across the flow of the water, so that could be a good little gold trap. So we'll head down there and we'll see if we can pick up some pieces with the VLFs. We've got the sensitivity flat out. The ground's fairly quiet. There's a few hot rocks, but we'll just see how we go, low and slow, and if we get any exposed bedrock, and there's a fair bit down there, we'll start scratching around with the picks to see if we can break it up. Okay, today we're working the gullies with the VLF, so I'm on the AT Pro. I've got it in Pro Zero mode, which is not a true or metal mode, but it's good enough. And this is crazy, I'm going full sensitivity, but it's very quiet ground, so low and slow, and we'll see what we can pick up. Well, this is a little gully we're working in. Have a look at the creek bank. There's bright red mineralised soil with quartz rubble through it. But as you can see, that ground's very deep. The slate bedrock's down in this gully level, so it's about over 1 metre deep, that ground, so not likely to pick up too much on the flats. That's why we're working on these little gullies which are cutting through this country. And every season's different because you get the big wets that come through, although that didn't happen this year. And everything changes and more gold gets washed down, so you never know how you're going to go in these gullies, even though people have detected them in the past. Okay, what we've got here, we've got this beautiful slaty bar. It runs for about 20 metres down the creek. It's perpendicular to the creek, so it's a perfect gold trap. I've just been raking off the wash and getting down to the rock. Not a big job. I've thrown some of the beelie boulders up on the bank, but I'm going to rake all this slate, rake the gully, and then we'll run the AT Gold and the AT Pro up and down it. The AT Pro hasn't got a true all metal mode, but it'll pick up fine stuff. AT Gold has got all metal, and it'll run the sensitivity flat out right on the edge of performance, and we'll see if we can pick up any little pieces out of the slate, because it'll work into the slate. It's quite soft, as you can see. It breaks up very easily. So the gold will be well down in the bedrock there. Anyway, we'll rake this gully and we'll see if we get anything out of here. Well, a little bit of gully raking was worth the effort. I've been rewarded with a nice little piece of gold. I'd say it's about a 1/4 of a gram, so it's not the retirement nugget. But just down here is that slaty bar there, which is like the last one in the creek before there's a creek junction about 10 metres away. I was using the AT Pro. Got a nice repeatable 26. It was surprising. That's with the stock coil on the AT Pro, which is the big one, the 11-inch. And it had no trouble picking that up. Then we came back, Colin came down with the AT Gold, and we isolated the target. And I've got it up here on the coil to show you. Like I said, don't get too excited, but it's a lovely little nugget. You can see it there on the top of the coil. I'll go in for a close-up. Back shortly. Okay, there she is. It's a lovely little piece of gold. I say it's about a 1/4 of a gram. Could be less. But I'll tell you something, that even the AT Pro with this 11-inch coil picked that up at about 1.5 inches, which I've got the sensitivity absolutely flat out here, which is possible because the ground's so quiet, it's just rock. AT Gold had no trouble picking that target up at all. Bang, 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 bang. There's a solid 36 on the target ID, so there you go. We've got a nice little piece of gold out of this gully. There'll be more here, but it could be like sub-detectable sizes. We could pan it, or you need to dry blow it or dry pan it. But anyway, that's lovely. Piece of gold. Okay, there she is there, so you can get a better idea of the size of that little nugget. Just on the fingertip. But like I said, that gave it an amazingly good signal, but that's not surprising. The AT Gold at 18 kilohertz, and we had it running flat out right on the edge of performance. We had it ground balanced because it's very quiet ground. There's no trouble with that, and sensitivity flat out. Normally you couldn't operate like that, but in this slate you can, because there was just no mineralisation here. But what we'll do is work up this gully and see where this gold came from. Maybe we'll be rewarded with another nice little piece. Well, I've just dug this great chunk out of the creek. It was giving me a great signal. As you can see, it's quartz. It is incredibly heavy. That is really, really heavy. And I'll show you the detector signal I'm getting off that rock. I've ground balanced on it. It's not a hot rock. I can't wait to clean it up. It may have gold through it, who knows. But this is the AT Pro. I'm in our Pro Zero mode. I'm getting a solid 38.41, a little bit jumpy. Just there, beautiful. Now, just to prove it's not a hot rock or ground balance on it, I'm getting a ground balance of 81. Signal's still there, it's not a hot rock. Well, it's an incredibly heavy piece of quartz, so it may be a crush up job, but I would say it's going to have a bit of gold in it, giving a signal like that out of quartz. Anyway, we'll continue down this creek gully, which is quite narrow. It's seen plenty of detectors because there's I'm following some other bloke's boot marks, probably about a week old. Anyway, off we go. Well, we've just been working down this picturesque little creek here. It's fairly hot, but it's nice and cool in the shade. That's how the creek looks naturally, I would imagine. Then we started to notice there's a bit of stripped bedrock. This is to give you some idea the energy those old timers had. Have a look at this section through here. There's a few hundred metres just bare rock, but they've absolutely stripped it. You can see that slate material there, which is obviously at the perfect angle to catch the gold. And they've actually done a little bit of a digging up into the side of the creek bank, chasing a bit of colour obviously in there. Only goes in a couple of metres. We're just going to work this country through here. It's just bare bedrock. And it's been exposed like this for a very long time by the look of it, so maybe there's a little bit of gold come down in the last few wet seasons. We'll try this section. Well, it's early on the morning of day 6, and this is the view across the old town common. It wasn't a really large town, probably 150 to 200 people, transient mining population, a couple of little foundations for hotel chimneys, but that's about all. And we're heading off home today. Got a 7-hour drive to get home. I hope you all enjoyed our little week in the Goldfields. 5 or 6 days we've had here. We had a lot of fun, and a couple of relics there from the old town, and a nice little speck of gold there towards the end. So thanks for watching the video, everyone. Happy hunting. Bye for now.